Hi guys, this is Binod Shankar here, the Real Finance Mentor, with yet another episode of the short and sweet Real Talk series, where I ask someone the three things that they learned and they're aware of now about career that they wish they had known before starting their career. Today I have with me Deep Mazumdar, who is a CFA charter holder. Deep works as Vice President at Deutsche Bank in Dubai and DIFC, and he's been there for nearly a decade. Before that, he used to be with HSBC Securities. Deep is now going to share his tips and hacks of how to navigate a career. Deep, over to you.
Thank you, Binod, for providing me with this opportunity to speak to your followers and students. Jumping right in. The first point is identifying the right sub-occupation, focusing on the word sub. If you want an early boost and a leg up on your peers and colleagues, the struggle starts early. When you are young, you would like to focus on a particular occupation or field, such as finance. However, every large occupation has multiple sub-occupations. In finance, you could be a corporate finance guy, you could be an accountant, you could be an equity research analyst. However, finding this out and actually zeroing in is one of the most important things that one can possibly look at early. How to achieve this? Now, the way to achieve this is obviously by doing a lot of research and speaking to people in those particular sub occupations to see if this is something that appeals to you. I'll go with my example. I think I'm better suited towards personal investments or guiding people on their personal investments due to my inherent skills and qualifications. However, my current job is tailored towards institutions, but I'm working with my management to see if a move is possible. If I could have established this beforehand with the help of dedicated research and counselors, my career path could have been very different. Don't underestimate how much parents can also contribute to this. You should push your parents to do more research, find people that you can speak to in the particular sub occupations, as I previously said. And if you discuss with the right people, you should be able to map the quantitative and the qualitative side of your preferred sub occupations under finance. This should give you a brief idea of where you would like to be within the particular occupation over time. The second point, and according to me, the most important of the three, and I've kept it in the middle after the warm up, is managing management expectations. This piece of advice is extremely important and probably has the highest effort to reward ratio. The first objective of any job should be understanding, meeting, and exceeding management expectations. It is extremely surprising how many employees forget the simple formula of corporate success. The reason I say this, I was lucky enough to figure this out early, and understanding how management would like things to be done and thus fostering trust between me and my employer. This trust allows the employee autonomy to change things over medium to long term, with positive results being appreciated and rewarded generously. Post establishing this trust, it is obviously possible to make mistakes. However, those mistakes are not does not result in penalties, but more they are discussed constructively rather than being allocated to one's inefficiency or inability, as the management trusts your skills already. Also, never be afraid to communicate with your management if a task is something that you're not good at. If you're not good at X, you can always swap it out with one of your colleagues who's probably better at X and you are better at Y that they are probably stuck with. If you're stuck with a task for a long time, which takes you longer, it's always beneficial to go up to your management and say, well, let me do a sort of a barter trade with my colleagues, do something that I am better at, and let that other colleague do them. So it's effectively speaking to your management and getting the best productivity out of yourself. The third point is empathy towards colleagues. Now, what does that mean? Empathy towards colleagues. Not all cogs in an organization perform in a similar fashion. Every individual will have their strengths and weaknesses, which together would form an organization. In my early years, I used to be extremely frustrated with my colleagues who would not share my ideologies. I know something simple as, well, if a task is at hand, you have to finish it before you go home. Or, well, if a meeting starts at 3, well, the meeting you have to be there at 3. How can you be at 3:03 or 3:05? I shared these concerns with my management, let's say 2 years, 3 years into my role, when I was comfortable raising such points. And my management was very, very sensitive, and they explained to me that everyone's approach and ideologies aren't the same. A very specific colleague and I shared absolutely no traits in common, but I soon realized that without her complementary traits to mine and vice versa to the organization, we would not be a full functional unit. Learning from their strengths and complementing their weaknesses with the expectations that they would reciprocate can form an unstoppable team, which would add long-term value to the company and to our respective individual careers. Back to you, Vinod.
Brilliant. So to summarize, the first was identify the right sub-occupation. Second was management expectations. And third point was empathy towards colleagues. I think this all reflects your maturity and your experience, especially the empathy and the managing expectations part, because I think initially a lot of people in their career are focused on targets, KPIs, monetary outcomes, deadlines, things like that. So this is actually much more broader. Thank you so much for sharing these tips. And I wish you a continued success in your career. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. And I really hope you found it insightful and inspirational. If you did enjoy this episode, please drop us a review and spread the word. And be sure to check out more exclusive content on therealfinancementor.com and my LinkedIn profile, which is Binod Shankar CFA. Let's keep in touch. Just add your name to the mailing list on therealfinancementor.com and we'll tell you about new episodes, plus book reviews, upcoming events, and blogs. Till the next time, onwards and upwards.